Welcome, Montaj.
Thank you.
Welcome to Audio Portraits. I want to start off right off the bat. How did you come up with the name Dynasty Hoops?
All right, so Dynasty comes from every legend before us. Dynasty means that you're at the top for extended period of time. So when I think of Dynasty, my idol is Kobe. He played with Kobe and Shaq, right? So then there's the Warriors, there's Jordan, LeBron, like you want to be at the top of the throne. So that's where Dynasty came from, right? So, and then also like, you want to build the dynasty, and then when it's all said and done, you want to leave your legacy behind, right? So that's like the model that I have, build a dynasty, leave a legacy. That's where it all came from.
Shit, like how did that even come to be? What made you want to start a basketball league in Calgary?
Okay, for sure. So this is a loaded question.
We got time.
So how it all started was I worked at a place called Genesis Center.
In the hood.
So
where you drop
Northeast.
your kid off for free babysitting.
Is that what you do over here?
Yeah, I'm going to 100%, man. Let other kids babysit your kids, you know?
Hey, baby Alex is
Don't do
covered.
it yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started off there just because I had a job there. I had the employee discount on the courts. So this was right after COVID, and during COVID, a lot of my friends that I went to high school with, I stopped I wouldn't say stopped. Our friendship got like a little disconnected because of substance abuse on their end. So one way that I could bring back like me and my best friend is we met through hoops. Is like let's do something like for my friends. So every Sunday I booked at the courts, and it would just be like the most minimal fees ever. And we just started with 4 teams, 28 players. And ever since then, the only way you could get in the league was just being friends with the people that are already in it. And then after about a year, it was like, it started gaining attention, and we added social media into it. And then I finally went public with it just last year. And now we're sitting at 14 teams when we once had 4. Just so 10 teams in 3 seasons is pretty great.
No, that's dope.
Yeah, so now are you charging more? Are you looking for profits in a sense to grow the business, or?
So I still do it at like a very minimal cost, just because it is for the community. It's more so for the people that are in the league than it is for myself. So everything that we add to it is where the cost comes from. Right now we charge $250, but if you put in a team, it's $1950, right? So
Wait, so $250
for like individual players,
season.
right?
Oh,
So if you don't
okay.
have a team, if you just want to join like a free agent team.
Oh, so you can
Right.
just come without a team and
Yeah.
just be put on a team.
100%.
Okay,
So
cool.
one way to meet new people, one way to meet hoopers if that's what your passion is. And then it's also a way to keep in shape, right? Like if you have nothing else to do in the week, every Sunday just come get your cardio in.
Is it co-ed?
We're gonna get there. So right now it's a men's league. We're expanding to women's. We're gonna do the exact same thing that we do for our men's and our women's as well. And then I'm also contacting clubs, trying to go into the youth with it, right? So once again, just for all the players, because when I grew up, I played soccer, right? I got scouted to go to Portugal. But the leagues in Calgary, and I think Canada in general, they don't showcase their players, right? Like they don't get them recognition online, or they're every player I feel should be treated like a star, because not everyone can be a pro, right? So if our parents are putting in our hard-earned money to have their kid play, I feel the least we can do is at least showcase it, right?
It's so true. I grew up playing soccer as well. And
Yeah.
CMSA. It's not the same now as it was back then, but I definitely feel what you're saying, because a lot of kids were great at what they were doing, but didn't have that opportunity to be able to play at a further or higher level just because of not being seen, right?
Exactly.
Where there's clubs now where they have that initiative to be able to put them into post-secondary if they don't even make it to the pro level, right?
Yeah. At least they're going somewhere, and even the ones that don't go anywhere, they still love the game, right? So the least you can do is give them the bare minimum, which is
A little cloud.
Yeah. Right. So that's what it is. So co-ed would be in the future plans too after these 2 things take off.
I want to touch on Ilya's question that he was asking earlier. Do you have any partnerships, or is this a solo venture, kind of to make this league a sustainable league in the city?
Right now it is solo venture. The only way I feel there would be partnerships is when we do expansion. So if we were to once again go back to young days, is we had provincials, Alberta, Edmonton and Calgary, right? So if we were to have an expansion plan in Edmonton, I can't be in 2 places at once. That's when the team would grow a little bit, right? But right now I do have like a social media team. They do like the media, they do the camera work, edits. So like I do have help from like people in the community. But as of right now, it is a sole proprietorship.
Nice. What do you see in the future, and what do you think it'll take to get there, man?
What do I see in the future? I want to be the biggest league in Calgary. And if not Calgary, like once I am the biggest in Calgary, I want to hit national scale. Try getting all around Canada and the US. But I do see it being really big in the youth, right? Like we do highlight videos on YouTube, so like TikTok, Instagram. So I feel like that type of like attention that we can garner, parents will be interested, sponsors will be interested, and just like bringing the community together in a whole, like that's the biggest goal here.
What about like obviously your competitors, and you know they are on the bigger scale. It's like Genesis, for example. Right?
Yeah.
Do you find that you know a problem to break through, because they pretty much own the market, obviously, in terms of Calgary, right?
Yes.
For on the higher end hooping kind of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So the way that like I see it more as a collaboration with them, because they're a club. I'm not really trying to go into the club scene with it. I just want to be the league that like clubs put their teams into.
Okay.
So I feel like Genesis, Rise, like new clubs like DMS. There's newer ones like Impact as well. Like all those guys that have players to play, like just form the teams, put them in Dynasty Hoops, and right there, like the market
you got a
booms.
bunch of teams and you can run.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah. Because I'm sure there's other teams,
Yeah.
like, you know, in terms of like cultural teams, I know there's church leagues,
Yeah,
there's,
there
you know,
is.
church teams, there's like Korean leagues I remember
Yeah.
playing for, yeah.
For sure. There's a lot of subsection leagues in Calgary, which is
Yeah, so that clarifies a lot, right? Because I thought maybe, you know, it'd almost be like a club, but now that you're saying, you know, you would just be a league that clubs can play in.
yeah. And it
That's-
works vice
that-
versa.
That's and I think that's something that is a good message to get out there. So you know, maybe potentially somebody can sign up and start signing up
Yeah.
to get hooped on.
Done.
You spoke about the issues with the soccer league when
Yeah.
you were growing up.
Yeah.
What are some things that you could do to kind of help with the youth to be able to further their development in the sport or even outside of the sport?
So the biggest thing that I'm seeing happen is like every kid that's about like 14 or 15 hits up our Instagram. They go, how can I play? How can I join? They love the fact that like our social media is like, it's honestly like NBA coverage, right? Like if someone drops like 30-point triple-double, we give them a
highlight
post,
reel,
right? And a highlight reel. Like
That's what I like about your social media right now. It's
Yeah.
like I looked on there earlier today,
Yeah.
and like I see the highlights of every player on there essentially.
Bro,
Yeah.
he asked for social media coverage and then he ghosted me.
Shots fired, yo.
No, but
And we invited this guy on the show.
we
It's
talked
true.
about it earlier. You know, obviously,
yeah.
you know, I was in it for monetary reasons, just because experience and everything like that, and you know, business. But he was saying that he's trying to grow somebody that's helping him, and you know, it's
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Support
At
from
the end of the day,
community.
it's like you want to build a team that you can
Grow with. Yeah.
right? You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want someone to just kind of be in and out type of thing, right?
Yeah, at that point, Trill was much more experienced than I was. He had already like his establishment, so I felt like I had my friend. His name's Josh. He wanted to get into this stuff, so I was like, okay, like here's a platform that I can help you with, build your portfolio, and that's how that happened.
Yeah, and that's probably the best way of going about it, especially for you know that situation, right? 'Cause,
100%.
yeah.
Are you an ambassador of the sport? Do you play basketball, or are you just someone that wants to build something for the community?
No, man, I love basketball. So after I stopped playing soccer, I went and played basketball in high school, grade 11, grade 12. And that's when I met like all my best friends, and that's essentially what this was all made for, right? So I played just pickup, played on community teams. I wasn't ever really great at it, but my idol is Kobe. So I watch NBA like crazy. So Lakers 2024 champions.
Wait, what's your favorite basketball movie, bro?
Basketball movie?
Yeah, 'cause there's a
Hustle.
lot, man. You know, when you're growing up as a kid, you watch some basketball movies, you're like, ah.
No, I love Hustle, the one that just came out with like Anthony
Oh,
Edwards.
word!
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that one's probably like the one of the better narrated ones. The other ones are like Space Jam, Jordan. That one's not bad.
I gotta check that out because
Yeah.
I really fuck with Ant. So
Yeah.
like, and I heard he's actually a good actor.
He's sick.
So.
He was dope in the movie.
Yeah, the villain. Yeah.
Speaking of, what's your favorite basketball movie?
Above the rim, bro.
Above the Rim.
Oh, you don't know anything about that.
Come on, I know Above the Rim, bro, but you guys are sleeping.
White Mike
like
can't
Mike,
jump.
bro.
Oh, like Mike.
Come
Oh,
on,
word.
y'all.
That's
Y'all
it.
are sleeping.
I was young.
bro.
I was young at that time, but I remember that.
Now basketball is my
Yeah.
favorite. Okay, that's where I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
You know.
Above the rim was deep, bro. You know.
There's also White Man Can't Jump. Like that one's dope too.
They
Classic.
remade that one.
Yeah,
though.
with Jack Harlow.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet though.
That one's not bad either. The first one's better.
Classic.
What else do you have? You pulling up questions and shit.
Yo, don't watch what I'm doing, bro.
Shit.
What's a way for you to be able to foster a community around your league? Because I feel like leagues are a lot more than just the sport itself, right? Like you want to build a community inside of it to help it grow.
100%. So that's actually one of like the biggest challenges that I've been having, just because majority of the league is in Northeast formed. I want to build a community for all of Calgary. I don't want to have to be like, oh, it's just like brown people in it, or just like the Filipino community, just like Somalian community. I want it to be everyone in Calgary feels accepted, right? And that's actually one of the harder things to do, just because there are leagues that just mitigate themselves to just being a community league, right? So, but once you, like this is what the players have been saying, once you're in Dynasty Hoops, the teams and the players that you meet, it automatically feels like you're part of a family, right? So like that right there is like, you can make friends that are like everlasting. Like for instance, we have like one of our better players, his name's Jason. He came over from the Philippines, joined as an individual player, ended up meeting a couple of guys in the league, and now they're like best friends outside of basketball, right? So like if you feel like you don't really have anyone, or you're new to Canada, or new to this city, or even if you're just looking to meet new people, like it's a great way. And we're centered in the city.
And I
now.
feel like you can build a lot of like great relationships playing sports.
100%.
You know, I always talk about it. You build like camaraderie, right? Like you have to trust somebody. You take L's together.
Yeah.
You know, you take W's together. And you know, trusting somebody with the past somehow translates to life about trusting somebody
For sure.
outside of basketball, right?
And a lot of these players, they have like mindset of like sports is already something that like men or people bond over,
100%,
right? So like with that right there, you have something that you can click with someone with.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the easiest way to like build a community, but the harder part is there's so many different personalities, getting them in one place and like having it all go smooth.
So I guess that's the other question. Do you find a lot of like tension sometimes? Because you're saying it is a little bit cliquey, the Filipinos, the Somalians, the brown guys. I know how that gets a little bit, you know?
Yeah, so it's more so like a challenge outside of the league. There's people that once they see you thrive and they want to kind of slow you down, or like talk down upon what you're trying to like enforce. But in the league, it's all friendly competition, right? Like when you're on the court, it's no like, oh, we're boys. It's like, yo, we want to win the championship. There's prizes for MVPs and finals MVPs that we like reward the players for. So everyone's competing at the end of the day. But off the court, it's like, man, like that was a great game. Like there's lots of sportsmanship. So far, we haven't had an altercation, which is awesome. Our refs they hold it down as well. Like
so you have refs.
Yeah, we have official refs. We have the full jersey kits. Like people represent their teams. So yeah, it's honestly NBA for Calgary.
Nice.
I find it pretty interesting that you guys even brought that up, because I was kind of just thinking of like stuff to talk about, questions to ask prior to this. And one of the questions that kind of went through my head was like, what would it be like to foster all these different people, and how would it be like to keep that sense of community and not have any negative things about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I kind of threw it to the side. I'm like, that's a dumb question. And now you guys are talking about it. So I'm like, I guess it is a pretty...
No, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, yeah.
100%, especially, you know, like I know I'm fucking hot-headed, you know, and then every time we play ball and, you know, somebody pushes my teammate, I get mad. And obviously, you know, there's always arguments and fights, but I think, like, I learned because we played a lot in the church league, and the church league, obviously the pastor's there, and he just keep digging into you, saying that, like, you know, like, we're doing this all for fun, and like, you know, obviously God's watching and things like that. It's a whole different thing. But
no, that's actually like what it is too. Like, yo, like me myself, like I'm not a hot-headed person, so I also understand the emotion of a game. I've been in championship games. I've been at the highest level for soccer. Like, I know what competition gets like. So people will say, like, in passing, like, oh man, like these refs suck, right? They'll come to me like, oh, like why do you have this guy hired or whatever, right?
It'll happen.
Exactly, right? It comes out with it. But like me, if I was to react fiery, right there, like mine and my friend, like every player becomes a friend to me, right? But right there, like me and him would have like a discussion or like an argument or a dispute. But so being level-headed, like right then and there, be like, yo, I completely understand your frustration, but it's going both ways, right? Like it's
just trying to control the situation.
Exactly, it settles it.
You said earlier that there hasn't been any discrepancies in the league so far. Is there anything that you've done that you put in place to kind of help that make that happen, or that's just like by luck?
So no, like there's obviously been like face-to-face arguments and all that. I'm just saying like there hasn't been a physical altercation, but if there's rules set in place, or right then and there, like if there's a physical altercation, it's automatic suspension for sure based on how far it goes. You're out of the league, right? Like, and it's no refund policy. Like once registration's over, it's pretty much a waste of your time and your efforts and your money, right? You're coming here to do all the wrong things. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, you're letting your team down. Right?
Exactly, right? So
going to compete, that's part of the whole.
For sure.
Yeah, being a teammate.
It's good that you have these rules kind of set in place, right? Because if you want to build something bigger, I feel like those are things that you kind of have to have. Otherwise, things can just go away real quickly.
100%. Right? There's no foundation. There's no structure. It's gonna fall apart.
Yeah, nothing to build on, right? No, that's dope. That's dope.
How does the league work right now? Like, do you guys play every Sundays or drafts? And then talk about like when the season start and playoffs.
For sure. So right now we are in our playoffs for our winter league. So league goes on for 12 weeks. This is where like I feel like we do things differently than our competitors. Is when you're in the finals, instead of it being one and done, we give a best of 3 final series. So that way, like honestly, the best team does come out on top. And this upcoming weekend is our finals, April 14th. Our next season starts at the end of May, after May long weekend. Just because we do play on Sundays, like it was mentioned. Sundays from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. we have 6 games every Sunday. And we have 2 divisions, 7 teams in each division. And once it hits 8, we're gonna make a new division, Div 3, Div 4, and those will be possibly on different days. When the expansion comes, that's just how we have to roll with it. But so the next season starts end of May. It will go up until August, 3-month cycle. And so registration's open right now as well for that.
Do you have to try out, or like?
No.
What if you're complete trash, like this guy?
We accept we accept everybody, right? So like we have college hoopers. They're Div 1. Anyone on that type of level of playing, and then Div 2 is honestly it's more of like a rec league, recreational, right? So obviously when Div 2 starts becoming competitive, we'll open up a Div 3 for inclusivity. And the tryouts, we don't have tryouts. If you're an individual player, you get put on the individual team, like a free agent team. And if you are a team, you have like all your boys come in. Right then and there, you already have your team.
Okay, so you can, I guess you just draft them to the individual team.
Exactly.
Now, do you find individual teams do worse or better than if they come prepared with a whole squad?
I would always recommend like you come with a couple of friends, right? But we had 2 individual teams this season, which is 14 players that signed up. One of them is playing in the finals, and the other one was middle of the pack.
Oh, that's all right.
Right, so it's not bad. Like you'll have some good hoopers in there. Every team has some good hoopers. Some of them are like a little shaky. But at the end of the day, like it's not a place of judgment. It's like you come, you get your shots up. every Sunday you go at it, right? You try winning with what you have.
What about, do your players have like perks in terms of, are you offering them extended training or anything like that? Or, you know, are you sending them to places where they can learn how to shoot or like dribble the ball like this guy?
Point at me one more time. See if we don't do a recorded video of 1v1, me and you, bro. We'll dunk on your ass.
No, if you want, I got a handles program. I'm joking. No, so we play out of Central Calgary Sportsplex, and the perks that we do, so we also understand that accidents happen. We also understand that like accidents happen in sports, injuries. So I went down and I tried getting like an insurance for players to opt into if they please, and it's pretty much injury insurance. If you break something, like you will be compensated for it. This is what I mean by like for our players, I kind of go like above and beyond, and that's why it's not really monetary for me. It's more so like, I don't want you to worry about playing on Sunday and Monday you're working and you don't want to get hurt, right? Like
I was just gonna say, that's actually pretty genius because like
100%,
a lot of people avoid playing any men's league or women's league after a certain age because like they're like, yo, I get hurt, fuck, I can't go to work now to make money type shit. So like that's smart. Yeah,
for sure. So I want them to be like compromised for like the time off that they would have to take just because they participated in a sport, right? So I want that to like kind of like, there's no reason not to now.
Yeah,
right?
100%. And then, especially for the older guys.
For sure.
Like that,
And then for the other perks is like we play at Central Calgary Sportsplex. So whenever there's drop-in times, if you're a Dynasty member, you actually get free courts just for like that season cycle. Right, and then there's also a workout area. You get free weightlifting if it's available, and then we also have shooting machines. So if you want to come in, get your reps up on a shooting machine, Dynasty members get that instead of paying like a membership fee.
Yeah, bro, you hear that?
That's just for him. That's just for him.
Bro, just for him. Man.
Bro, point me out one more time. I swear.
Turn down the lights and just him making shoot hoops all night, man.
Bro, don't get it twisted, yo. I'm actually nice at ball, huh?
Can you shoot though?
Barely, but it don't matter.
He gets to the lane.
Yeah,
goes them layups.
Yo, at the end of the day, if the ball goes in the hoop, that's the point of the game, right?
Yeah, facts.
I can make that happen.
Well, let's go.
I got another question. Let's talk about like teams. Like, do players pick their team names, jerseys, and all that? How does that work?
Yeah. So if you sign up in the early bird registration, you get to do full like jersey customization, right? So if you want like, let's say, favorite team, Toronto Raptors. If you want like their kind of jersey style, we just get your name on the back, whatever you want to be called, and then whatever customization you want with the jersey, and we get that made for that team. It has to be in that registration period just so we have the time to like order it in. No extra cost. It's actually $100 less if you sign up early. But that's what we do with our jerseys. Team names is full on the players. It just has to be appropriate, something that we can post out and like minor kids can see. Can't have like profanity and all that type of stuff. That would be that's just like shunned upon. But yeah, that's how team names are selected, teams are made, and jerseys are formed.
What's the age group, I guess?
For our men's league, it's 18 plus, 17 if your parents allow you to play. You have to get like parental approval, and so we want like our high school players to have somewhere to go right after they're done high school hoops, right? And obviously they would want to go colleges, but the players that don't make college don't want you to feel left out whatsoever. Like, come Dynasty Hoops, like we're open, right? But yeah, so the age group for our men's is 17 plus technically, but 18 plus. Majority of them are 18 plus. Same thing with our women's league that's going to be coming around in June. And then our minors would be age divided, so like U7s, any kid that's under 7 is in that U9, U11, U13, all the way up until 17.
That's nice, that's nice. What was I just gonna ask you there? Shit, it slipped my mind.
Cool. You were looking at your phone, man.
I didn't even look at I had a question. I had a question for him.
You just went blank a little bit. I'll come back.
It'll come back, I hope. Anyways, take the reins from me while I'm thinking about it.
Vince, you have anything?
Talk about like, you know, looking at the content and it's really well done. just like, how do you plan on kind of like expanding your team?
That was my question.
And, you know, trying to keep up, like, because I'm sure if you're gonna start a league, then you'll need maybe an extra person or something. Or talk about.
So I kind of want to touch on his question as well. So
Yeah.
that same thing, and like, how do you see yourself growing the league, and do you do scouting to get players? Like, how do you market this league? Do people just come and hit you up and be like, I want to join, or do you approach people at all?
So a lot of our marketing is actually started from the season that we're in. Everything that we put up on our social media is already advertisement for how we do things. The other thing is, like, let's say like we have Chill in the, what's your name?
Ilya.
Ilya.
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
So
So let's say we have Ilya in the league, and he loves it. He's gonna go tell all his friends about it. So word of mouth is big. The next thing is we sponsor or we promote our advertisement, like on social media. So like we'll boost our posts, especially around like registration period. So we have like a promo video, a graphic telling like why you should join, and that gets boosted for all of Calgary to see.
nice. You
And
need to
then-
do some bottle drives and knock on people's door, leave your
Door
flyer.
knocking. I gotta get on door knocking for real.
Are you pushing the top players any further in terms of like, are you sending them to combines or anything? Or
So that hasn't happened yet, but we've had players in UFC play. We have one right now, like Ali Raza. He's pretty known in Calgary. But so yeah, we have college hoopers that come here, and it's mainly just like in their off season they join to stay in shape. But when we go into our youth and we have those special players, that's when we're going to be forming teams to take them to tryouts.
nice.
Because the youth is where you get recognized when you're already 25, 26 years old.
Yeah,
like
you're
it's
already washed out at that point.
yeah, so it's more so.
Well, technically,
No, you're not
in the
wrong. I'm just
sports,
laughing because it's funny.
Yeah. So for when we go into our youth, that's what our goal is, to like whatever kids have that special something, they're not just lost in Calgary, that they actually get recognized.
Nice. Yeah.
So we have the CEBL league, and now Calgary has its own
Yeah.
team. Do you have any like aspirations to be able to be connected with them so that you can, you know, grow these kids and develop these players, and then
Yeah.
maybe, you know, push them on to a homegrown league, or maybe even leagues overseas or
Sure.
in the States?
So one thing about me is I'm never opposed to like collaborations. So that's like you mentioned, like Calgary Surge. I would love for them to be like a part of what we're doing. Same thing with like Calgary Flames. Just because you're a different sport doesn't mean that you can't be involved.
Facts.
Because they already have the platform, right? They're already national with it, or like at least in Canada they're known. So that right there, like that's powerful. If you can have like these types of guys like backing you and seeing what you're doing is for the community and not for selfish reasons, and just look out for the kids, right? Like the biggest thing is like if we can get one kid to like make it out of Calgary, Calgary's gonna be on the map, right? And even if they're from Airdrie, like as people once they make it, like there's a soccer player from Alfonso, right? Alfonso Davies, he's from Edmonton. Canada's one of Canada's best players, so like that's in a different sport, but there's Steve Nash for BC. We need someone from Calgary, right? We need to take pride in like what we're born and raised in, and like the area that we grew up in. So it'd be awesome to see like one of the best like players like Shea. He's Canadian. If he was from Calgary, that'd be even better.
See, because like the one thing I kind of think of is like, I love the league, and it's like if I was, you know, still you know, under 18, for example,
Yeah.
and I wanted to come play for your league because, like, you know, I see so many great things about it.
Yeah.
I think it's like a double standard for myself. It's like I want to go there to, you know, stay fit, keep playing, enjoy myself, but at the same time, it's like I'm still young. I still want that opportunity to maybe, you know, someone sees me, I can make it. Like,
For sure.
do you have thoughts on those things?
100%. So the thoughts are exactly like for minors, it's gonna push the narrative a little bit more because you need a mixtape, right, to get recognized. Like a lot of players, they have their high schools making the mixtapes, right? But the thing is, like a high school mixtape at grade 12, that's your scouting year. But if you get recognized at the age of 7, like or 8, and like you're just dominating your competition, and then that 8-year-old goes and plays 12-year-olds and starts dominating them, that 8-year-old is something special. Right, that right there is something that we can put all our efforts into, put all our resources into, and get that person the recognition and showcase he may need in like a UCLA training camp or somewhere in the States. Because States basketball is different, right? A lot of us that were born here, you're 6 foot at the age of like 15, you're going to be the center of the team, right? But the development of that 6 foot player is not going to be guard skills. They can cap out at 6'1", you never know, right? So that's where I feel like Canada's a little bit behind. But at the end of the day, like it's been getting better. So that's where this league for the youth is where I would want to go, is set them up for YouTube, mixtapes. TikTok's big right now. If they can go viral on that, our Instagram platform's only going to expand from here. Like whatever we can do is, at least that effort's being made.
So you're gonna be providing these videos for every player, for every team, all by yourself?
That's where we have a media team. So whatever gets published is on them. But of course, if there's players that stand out, they get their own tribute.
Yeah, so the reason why I asked that is because, like, okay, you have 14 teams, and then I'm not sure how big your media team is, but are you capturing the team and then, you know, kind of circling that player saying, okay, this is the player that's doing so great, or is it a video that's actually specific for that player that is following not just the whole team, but that player specifically? Do they have to approach you for that, or do you guys go out of your way to do that yourself? So
there's both ways. Right, so both things happen. So on our page, if you go right now, like for this season, Ali Raza has been on there a lot, right? He's an MVP. He's gonna get an MVP video made by us, right? So now let's say there's Jason doing just as well. If he wants a video made, he would have to talk to our social media guys and inquire about like how much it would be for him to have one. For youth, when we go into youth, it's gonna be more us doing it for the players and the clubs. That's also the perk that the clubs will get. If you're in Dynasty Hoops, like this is what they take care of, right? So obviously the platform is gonna be big, it's gonna be a lot of players, but out of those many players, it's always the standouts that would pretty much get that treatment.
Have you thought about looking for any funding from the government for like the youth programs or anything like that?
Oh, 100%. So I've been looking into going into a non-profit organization, just because like that's what most organizations are for leagues. And that's the next route. I've already sent my application, just waiting to hear back.
You know, eventually you're gonna have to raise your fees, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's gonna be a reason why. It's because you want to give them more.
Yeah.
What do you want to give them?
So that example is actually exactly from our last season's fee was $250 regular. Now our early bird is $250 just because we added the player protection program. So it's actually $300 regular, right, without the early bird. We added a player protection program for our players and also the courts, free drop-in and workout, and also shooting machines. So these two add-ons, we just increased to $50 a person. Try keeping the cost as low as possible just because of my own personal background. I've been through like struggles. When my parents split, I went through a bankruptcy. I know what it feels like scraping dollars out of the bottom of the drawer. So I don't want anyone to feel like money is not a reason to be here. Like I don't want to jack up we're giving quality of like a $700 fee, right? But like at the end of the day, it's a passion of mine. It's something I want to do for everybody that can be a part of it. And I don't want to have to like discriminate just because you're low income that you can't come play.
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. You know, not everybody has access to shooting machines. Right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of dope to have access to a shooting machine because you always want to grind,
of
maybe
course.
Off season or late night, whatever, right?
Just players are always working on their game. They're playing in multiple leagues. They want to be the best across Calgary.
Like just even to have access to courts and shooting machines is fucking massive, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So what other service do you want to provide in the future?
In the future, it's just what comes to my mind. I honestly go with the flow, see what I can. Like I'm nonstop watching like NCAA. The March Madness just happened. NBA, I'm on that. So whatever I see them doing, I try implementing into like our season. So to say the least, like when we started, we didn't keep track of stats. We had volunteer refs. We didn't do videos for social media. We didn't do any of that. It was just we have a court, we have pennies. Every Sunday, come out and play. Right, and as the time went on, I was like, okay, like players are having fun. Let's see what else I can do to enhance their like experience,
right?
Hire
Statistician. What are they called?
Yeah,
Statisticians.
yeah, statisticians.
Statisticians, right?
Yeah, so we have stats. Even 2 seasons ago, we didn't track field goal percentage, turnovers, things like that. We just did points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. This season, we added them from like A to Z, like every single stat in the game.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right,
And,
so-
and that solidifies, right? Because
100%.
like now you want to work on your game because now the stats are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is like players, they see like the fee go up, but I don't want them to think it's just like, oh, it's just for Montaj, right? Like it's actually, the more the fee goes up, just know the more that's happening for the players. Right?
So like kind of to touch on that last question too, it's like, do you have plans on, or maybe you already do,
Yeah.
Do you have plans on finding ways to develop players?
So that's where like the collaboration would take place. Is there's already clubs in the city that have academies and training programs. That's where I want to work hand in hand with them instead of being in competition with them, right? Come put the players in the league. Whoever's showcasing out of all the players in the league, like let's say like Rise has 2 guys, Gen has 5 guys, and then like all the other like smaller community teams have maybe 1 guy each. Take a team of all the best players and represent Calgary and go play in different areas as a dynasty team, right? So that's actually like the long-term plan. Thank you for touching on it. That's actually a great question. But that's where we're gonna go with it. Like all the players that are standouts, something specials, we do have plans to get them scouted.
See, that's actually pretty smart because I know I won't like spit out names or nothing, but
Yeah.
there's a soccer league. They started their own thing, kind of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think they found out that they're developing so many great players, and then there's more things that you could do with them, right? So they did have their own separate, like men's league type of team that will go play in whatever league that may be, that does the provincials and does the nationals type thing, and then they can be seen more by more people, right?
Of course.
More exposure.
More exposure,
Yeah.
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you plan on, so you run everything yourself, right?
Yeah.
Do you plan on eventually maybe making it more democratic and like having a board, or who would you want even in?
That's the questions, man.
Yeah, that's a
That
great
was
question.
a great question, and they
Right?
probably won't even hear it. So.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So the board would have to be created the moment we go nonprofit. You need a board of directors team. So the board would consist of, honestly, I need people that are like-minded. I don't mind if, like, I wouldn't just be like, oh, you're the best player, like you're automatically on the scouting team or whatever. It would be people that have the same drive and ambition that they want Dynasty Hoops to be the vision that I have in my mind. That has to line up for like consideration of board. And that is to never settle, never be complacent of where you're at. Like always try being the best version of yourself and whatever you're doing, right? So that's how the board would be kind of who I choose.
Is this something that you've already thought of, or
No,
kind of
no.
just spitballing right now?
No names have come to mind yet, just because like people show interest, and then I don't know if like ego becomes a thing, but they feel like, oh, I can do it better. I'm just gonna go off on my own and be a competitor. But they don't understand like if we do something that's big, everyone can like have their feet in it.
Yeah. It's just, well, that's the natural part of growing. Some people just don't have the same vision as
Exactly.
you do, right? It's, you
Yeah, they see
can't
that like
blame
it's
them, you know? It's like some people just think they can do better, or
Yeah.
some people just
feel like-
want to do it better, right?
for sure.
I feel like that's such a social media era type thing, because like nowadays you see, it's like you see everybody look at one video of, you know, let's say a gym trainer training you to do something,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden because they watch that video, they could become a gym trainer.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought of that, but it's like that's just the era that
100%.
people are in now.
It's
It's like
definitely
you
true.
watch one thing and they think they're a genius about it, and that they can just go off and start. Not saying you can't do it,
Yeah.
Or they'll knock that person for doing it that way because they know a better way or something like
Yeah.
that.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know.
Can't please everybody, man, that's for sure.
100%.
And you can't build an empire by yourself, right? You need
Yeah.
to build a team with it. So like
Yeah.
a lot of people are trying to do these things by themselves, but don't realize
Yeah.
you probably can get to that point if you
Together.
just team up.
Exactly. And like a lot of people like they love the league, right? Just like my own example is I played in multiple leagues myself, but none of the leagues offered like what I saw was missing, right? So like
Which is
like,
what?
Which is like stats.
So you broke
from A
off
to
and did
Z.
it better, bro.
I was one of those people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I was one of
see,
those
there you
people.
go, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like it was more so like there's leagues in Calgary that charge like $4,500 a team for 26 games, and it's literally just playing pickup ball, right? Like they don't like make uniforms a thing, and they don't go out of the way to get you a uniform, right? So instead of like me being like, oh, like your team needs uniforms, I'll go out of the way and be like, okay, here's 10 jersey sets for you guys. It comes with the registration fees. All you have to do is make sure you wear them every game, right? So it's more so like getting the bang for your buck, whereas other leagues or like other gym members or like fitness trainers, they just care about getting their money, right? So that's one thing I would say.
I heard you mention earlier that, you know, there's like prizes for the MVP and finals MVP. Like, you want to just explain a little bit more about that and like what, let's say, the winner gets and so on and so forth?
So I'll start with like our MVPs. If you're the MVP of the season, we reward you as you get next season's fee on house, right? So like everyone that's an MVP, whatever division, like Div 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, all the way up until everything, right?
I'm for sure about to pull up so I can play ball for free. Yo.
Yeah, exactly. So you pretty much get...
What are you looking at?
Nothing, bro. Nothing, bro.
You can pretty much get like a 2-for-1. Like you pay for like your first season to join, and if you're MVP, you get the next one free, right? That's one way that we like, once again, give you MVP treatment. You're at the top right now. You're at the top of the dynasty. Same thing with championships. So finals MVP also gets that benefit, but they also get, as a champion, you get shirts. MVPs also get shirts. We had All-Star game as well, so All-Star MVP had a shirt. They don't get the same treatment just because it's one game instead of like the entire
Just
season,
for fun,
right? And then we also had a dunk contest. They also get like a dunk contest shirt, and then 3-point champion is whoever participates puts in $5. The winner takes it all. So you get like cash prize, depending on how many participants there are, and they also get a shirt. So merchandise.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that you do an All-Star.
Yeah.
Like, talk more about that.
So All-Star game is pretty much we go through. There's 3 of us, the media team and myself. Select the All-Stars of the season. Div 1 All-Stars. Huh?
Who selects?
So me and my media crew, because they're every game, right?
So they see everything too.
Exactly. So it's more than just the eye test. It's more than just like it's more than just stats. Like you also see who's making the real impact on the game, right? Who wins if this player doesn't show up? Like, is that team still going to be winning, right? So All-Stars are selected by us. The All-Star captains are selected by our Instagram. Like popularity, it's the same way that like NBA does it. So we have a post that goes up with 4 players, the top 4 players in the div, and whoever gets the most votes, there's 2 players, they're the captains. So on the day of the All-Star game, everyone sits, like it's a draft room, and you get drafted onto your team. It's a little fun way to do it. And then right after the All-Star game's done, we have a dunk contest and 3-point shooting contest. So it's like this, what's it called? Like skills competition, right? So we do that too. It's a whole, instead of playing on Sundays for that, we have Saturdays for it. So it becomes an All-Star weekend the day after you have a game, back with your regular team.
How many threes are they dropping at the competition?
Oh man, this year was lit. Like we had one player, he put up I think 18 or 19.
Dang.
And out of 25 shots.
That's crazy.
Right, so we got snipers, man. Like
80% accuracy.
yeah, and that's it. There's no money ball rack like they do in the NBA. It was too hard to like accommodate for that. So maybe for next year we might, right? Like that's another way that we can do something better.
Yeah. And let's say they're making these jerseys. What if they're the same color, man?
It's first come first serve. So let's say Ilya has a black set. I can't make a black set.
Oh,
Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah. So whoever.
So 14 teams have to have different colors?
Different colors or like a variation. Like you can
So
have.
you guys are the ones that actually make sure that there's no color discrepancies.
Yeah. And like you said, there's 14 teams, but there's 2 divs. So like we just have to really worry about 7. 7 teams can't have the same jersey.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Div 2 and Div 1.
Obviously, eventually they're going to need a light and a dark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we'll probably tap into reversibles. Like one side will have black, one side will have the other.
That's smart.
Yeah.
All right, a little off topic.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us one of your best memories so far with your Dynasty League here.
Oh man. I've had bad memories with it, just because I went to the finals 3 times, never won.
Yikes,
So,
it'd be like that.
But the thing is, bro, I can't rig it for me, you know? But no, the best memories is, I have to go back to like why I started it for, right? So for me, it was more so about the change I made in my best friend. His name's Bhavanjeet. So I saw him through COVID go through it really rough. And right when I made like Dynasty, I saw him starting to take care of his health again. So the reason why I started it, that happened, that was the most wholesome moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about this? I'll ask some personal questions. Like, you're saying you obviously have to work on the side. You know, this is not your main gig. This isn't gonna, you know, pay all the bills.
Not at all.
Gonna, you know, not gonna take you to the top right now. What do you do for fun? What do you do for work? And you got bitches, or like, you know what I mean?
See, when he brought up, oh, I want to get personal, I automatically thought he was gonna ask you if you have a girlfriend or something.
Well,
I don't know if you haven't noticed, but he's been trying to hint, you know. Anyways, go on.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I do have a girlfriend. So I've been with her since high school, right? So high school sweethearts. We've been 9 years together. 2 years from now, we're getting married. She's in Toronto right now doing Cairo school. Mentioned that to you when I came. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So to get there.
Too bad, Ilya. Sorry.
No,
next.
Where's your girlfriend?
The next
bro?
guest. Yo, don't. Anyways, let's
Don't
not
worry,
start
man.
this.
Middle of the cast.
After this, like my girl got friends. We'll.
My guy.
He needs one.
Anyways, go on.
Yeah, so that's that. And then for my regular day-to-day life, I do real estate. Just became a realtor in January. So that's what I hustle in, trying to learn the market, trying to learn how to become like prosperous in that as well, successful. And then on the side, I do developments. So I do renovation projects, basement developments, and I already have one property flip. So that's under my belt currently.
Do you think your development background and now your newly real estate background can play a role with the Dynasty League?
Oh, 100%. So one thing that I know about myself is like, I don't know, since I grew up, I was always a social butterfly, know how to like socialize with people. So everyone in Dynasty, like I said, typically like we get to know each other more on a personal level rather than, oh, you're just a player and I'm commish. I don't like that like barrier. It's like we're human at the end of the day, want to be on a personal level with everybody. So I feel like I have 125 players all over 18 in my league. Like that would go right with like client generation, lead generation.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so like building a pool for myself pretty much. But it's like, it's not like intentional, it's just kind of what happened.
No, 100%,
Right.
you know. I mean, it's a good move.
Yeah.
I think sorry to cut you off, just because I still want to stay on the topic there.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the main reasons why I was asking that, it's like, do you ever think you would want to like, you know, build or find your own space so that you don't have to go to Genesis anymore?
Yeah, so that's my 10-year plan. I want a facility, right? So like long-term goals, I set goals for myself. I don't know if it's like an olden day thing to do or if people still do it, but I feel like it's needed.
What works for you, works for you.
Exactly. So short-term goals lead to long goal ones. But yeah, I want a facility because I have goals for soccer as well. Soccer, basketball, every sport, lease it out, have a whole community come out. So I do want a facility at the end of the day, and I would want that to be in the center of Calgary.
Dope, I like that.
Not just in the hood, eh? Not just in the
Yo, we gotta provide for everybody, right?
Exactly.
We
All
gotta
communities got
provide
to
for
come
everybody.
together.
Everybody gotta eat.
So with your flip and real estate,
Yeah.
it's obviously something new.
Yeah.
You find it hard to juggle everything?
It is hard to balance. One thing that like helps me balance or like not have to worry about is like while I'm doing this, like I said, I'm trying to get married. My girl's in a different city. It allows me to just hustle, right? It's not really a distraction. Like, oh, I gotta make time for her friends, family.
Or you don't gotta chase ass around? Right?
Yeah, I don't have to worry about finding a girl, right? So like it's already done.
That's what I meant.
For sure.
How do you juggle having, you know, a future wife, and how do you juggle, you know, having 2 different types of careers plus having this dynasty league? It's, like, to me, that sounds like a lot.
It is a lot, man. So it's hard because I'm not around my friends as much anymore. It's more so like I said from before, like I've seen what bankruptcy looks like. Never want to ever go there again in my personal life. So that's where the motivation comes from to like keep going. The rest is routine. So like we wake up, hit the office, get real estate done, and then in the afternoon, nice days, go door knocking for developments. And then on the weekend, it's time to have fun, like let loose, and then that's where Dynasty comes in. Like it's a fun environment, right?
I feel like the Dynasty League is kind of
It's an escape.
that thing that is an escape for you, so it kind of keeps you going.
Exactly, once a week, and it's just like a reset. Now Monday's time to reboot, right? So that's kind of like how I'd be able to balance it. And then on Saturdays, if I ever can, make time for some friends, and that's pretty much it.
Nice.
It is a lot though, man. Like I can't lie to you. It's actually like it gets to you sometimes. It's like, man, like I'm just working. I see on my social media like a lot of my homies are just kicking it, and I just can't be a part of everything now.
So these are great careers that you have that you're doing with the development and the real estate.
Yeah.
What's your goal? Is your goal to, you know, always have both? Do you want to do one versus the other one day, or are you gonna just keep doing everything?
So the goal is I don't want to live in Calgary for the rest of my life. I wanna, like I've always had dreams to be in LA, so hopefully I can have a vacation home there. And the goal would be
Vacation home or home?
either one.
Okay, don't be one of those guys that, you know, start something in Calgary and run away and
No.
don't even promote Calgary no more.
No, Calgary will always have my heart. Like I was born in BC, raised in Calgary. Calgary will always have my heart. Never gonna be able to forget the place that gave me everything. But yeah, so development is something that is more like longer projects. You don't get your return or like your investment right away. Real estate would be more of a daily, so they go hand in hand. I don't really prefer one or the other. It would just be real estate's my daily grind. Development is something that happens after every month.
Long-term projects, and Dynasty is your baby, basically.
Yeah, Dynasty is legit a baby.
So let me ask you then, let's go 20 years down the line.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
Oh man, that's tough.
20 years, man?
20 years?
That's a crazy question, man.
No, I'm doing it.
I'll be 45. I'll be 45. I see myself have a family, like, and just like, not really have to worry about stresses of finances and all that. That's the goal. But I do see myself in Calgary in 20 years.
Nice.
What about you? Like, that's a sick question.
Fuck. Like, I wasn't
You might
prepared
find
for
a
that.
girl, bro. You know,
I might
20
find a
years,
girl,
man.
you know, who knows? But like I keep telling everybody off camera, you
Might
know,
make a shot or two.
I've joined the uncle era, bro. So
Yeah.
you know, whatever happens for me, happens for me. You know, I'm not out here chasing nothing. I'm just trying to, you know, build my own.
Yeah.
And then I feel like once I do that, everything kind of will fall in line and go
For
from
sure.
there. It's like I don't want to be chasing anybody and not even, you know, have myself kind of figured out.
For sure. Have your full fulfillment first, right?
Yeah, because then at the end of the day, it's like now I'm going to be trying to build myself, build my business, but then also build this relationship at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like I should do it in steps, whereas this guy thinks otherwise and think I should do it all at the same time. So it's like, you know,
It's hard.
Maybe she'll set you straight, you know?
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But like, I believe in timing, and I
Yeah.
feel like if someone's supposed to come in my life, they'll come at the right time.
Oh yeah.
That's true, though.
Wow,
I'll
that's
agree. I'll agree with you.
That is
Jim.
true.
down. Did y'all hear that? This guy said he agreed.
That's the one
I
time.
thought you were gonna
I'll give you a
fucking-
pass
I
because you
thought-
actually said something that made sense. You know?
This guy's always battling me, you know? So I was very caught off guard by saying you agreed.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
No, I mean, you know,
I have a question.
yeah.
Like media spend, you guys like spend money on like ads or anything, or is everything organic?
No, so when we do our ramp up for registration for the next season, we do spend on media, social media platforms like TikTok gets promoted and Instagram, and that's about it. That's where we advertise. The rest is word of mouth or me going to like people like facilities and just giving out business cards.
And like in terms of your content generation, what do you think like type of content people like, or why do you think like certain content do good than others?
We have one that popped off organically, which was an interview post of like our first game this season. I was going around interviewing players, and that was just to have fun with it. We wanted to add like a new element in the season, which is player interviews, and that one popped off organically, and like that I think was more eye candy than anything else, just because people actually got to see inside the league instead of just seeing players pop up on the feed. They got to hear from the players themselves and their experiences from it.
So when you say interviews, this is like outside of the league, or?
No, it was at the facility, and it was like last year's champs. They ran it back this season, so I went up to like their team captain, like, what are your thoughts on Dynasty Hoops, and what are the goals for this season? He's like, I want to hit a 3-peat, not just this season, next season 2, 4-peat, 5-peat, went all the way to 6. And then there was a team that lost last season, and they're like, oh, we're getting back in blood, right? So things like that, and it causes like an atmosphere for like how this season's gonna go.
100%. You talking about that kind of makes me think of like the NBA. Like they have reporters at halftime, before the game, after the game. Do you guys do anything like that, or do you plan to?
Yeah, so we do like right now we're mic'd up, but we also mic up our players like during the game. So that's like let's say we have like a showcase or like a game that's we know it's gonna be gritty. Or like 2 of the best guards in the league going at it, we'll mic them up. Or like team captains, there's leaders that aren't the best players, they're vocal, we'll mic them up. That right there is like another way that we can get personalized with our league and do something different than others.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then interviews, we do those as well. Like not so much to the players that lose or like the teams that lose, because they're not really with it at that moment.
Trying to talk.
Yeah, but the teams that are like winning in the finals, like we're gonna have a whole thing set up for them.
Damn. So if me and this guy were ever to be in the league, we both wouldn't have a mic, because you said you'd use the 2 best players, and this guy's not good.
I mean, if he's interested, man. If he the way he's talking about your jump shot, it needs to be mic'd
Bro,
up.
the guy's never seen my jump shot, yo. Wait till we pull up to the court.
He's shooting backwards.
Bro, I've been asked.
He's got that side spin, bro.
I'll side spin into the net, bro. How about that? Bend it like Beckham, brother.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So good. You want to wrap it up, Vince?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We usually like to do a segment. Still don't fucking have a name for it. I'm gonna call it guest to guest. That's what I'll call it.
Guest to guest, all right.
Guest to guest. So
Don't have a name. Just made that up.
yo, it's off the top, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, like our previous guest, we'll leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
So let me pull it up for you.
That's pretty sick.
If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
For me, if this person was still alive, it'd be Kobe. Just because at a time in my life where like my parents separated, I felt like I had no guidance, but realistically, my idol guided me to who I am today. His mentality, his mindset, I took after that instead of following the wave and going into like substance abuse and all that type of stuff when it was very accessible.
There isn't usually follow-up questions with this, but I'm very curious.
Yeah.
What would you talk about with Kobe if you could?
I'd be in awe, man. Like, I don't even know if I'd be able to say a word.
Just let him do all the talking.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely, like, honestly, I'd probably tell him about how he made a difference in my life without even knowing me. Right? That's one thing for sure that I'd give my flowers for.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a sick question. A lot of these questions are actually crazy.
Appreciate it, man. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. I'm Montaj, Commissioner of Dynasty Hoops. The way you can join is you can DM us on Instagram, Dynasty Hoops YYC. You can also join on our website, dynastyhoops.ca. If you have any questions, please DM our Instagram. Thank you.
So if you didn't like that, better luck next time.